Ladies and gentlemen, Topics with Mr. Javadi is in Fort Collins, Colorado today, the beautiful city of Fort Collins. We are blessed with our special guest, Shaun Shamardian, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he is in the business of real estate. And so today, I'm going to just let him introduce himself in a little bit, and then, of course, we'll talk about this world of real estate. Mr. Shamardian, thank you very much for joining
My
us.
pleasure.
Please introduce yourself a little bit.
Shaun Shamardian. I work with the Shahmardian group currently with Key Realty, and I work with my daughter Hannah, which is honestly the greatest joy of my life. It's amazing, and I've been doing this. I practiced law at first, which wasn't all that hot or interesting. I've been doing this probably for the past 7-8 years now, and I adore real estate. It's a fantastic field to be in.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And it is a very important business, which we'll get into in just a short bit here. Let us start as much in the beginning as we can. Where did you go to high school, and what subjects did you study?
High school.
Yeah.
I went to high school in Iran until probably towards the end of junior high.
Mm-hmm.
Then I moved to United States, went to high school mostly in the Los Angeles area. I went to a private school because I was living with my aunt and uncle, and their kids were in this private school. So I went to a private school. And my last year of high school, I moved to Fort Collins, and I graduated from Poudre High School here in Fort Collins.
Poudre High School, famous high school here in Fort Collins.
Yeah.
And by the way, what subjects were you interested in back then?
Well, that's kind of interesting. This is obviously a very long time ago, and in Iran, I was failing everything. In the United States, I aced everything without actually opening up a book because I think the Iranian system was so much further off. I mean, we had algebra in elementary school, whereas they don't even have algebra here until high school, if at all. I liked math. I wanted to go to medical school for a very long time. So I really liked biology, anatomy, things like that. Sciences really always interested me.
So basically the mathematical side of things kind of impressed you some?
Some, because I really liked physics. But then, again, the medical school part of my brain was all about biology and anatomy and things like that. So sciences altogether, really. I'm more of a left brain kind of a guy than I couldn't draw anything. I couldn't play an instrument to save my life. I'm just not really right brain all that much as I would love to be.
Well, and I laugh. Of course, I'm just having fun, but the fact is that's still significant, and it is a talent of its own. Science and the left brain and all that.
I guess
it is a talent of its own. It's just different. That's all.
Yeah.
So you went to college where, sir?
I went to University of North Dakota because by that time I was married, and my wife was born in North Dakota. Mm-hmm. My father-in-law was a state politician, state assemblyman in North Dakota, and he also had a business in North Dakota and all of that before they moved to Colorado when I think my wife was 10 years old. So when we were ready to go to school, we get this call from the president of the University of North Dakota, a gentleman by the name of Tom Clifford, one of the nicest people in the world. And he told my wife, just come home, you can go to school here and all of that. So we went to University of North Dakota for undergrad and law school, both of us.
So both the undergrad and law school were
Yes.
University of North Dakota.
Yes.
What was your undergrad in?
My undergrad was biology with a minor in physics.
Fantastic, fantastic. Very smart man, by the way. You can see
None whatsoever.
So what motivated you after that? And by the way, let me just back up a little bit. How was that college experience? North Dakota. I've been to South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't visited North Dakota, unfortunately. But how was it? How was the experience in college?
North Dakota as a state is... North Dakota people are the most wonderful people I have ever ran into. Mm-hmm. North Dakota state is one of the most miserable, coldest places that I ever had to live in because it was either minus several degrees or hot and humid. Mm-hmm. And the joke was that the state bird was mosquitoes because, and I've heard that about several different states, of course. But the weather, it was not that pleasing. Mm-hmm. But the people were wonderful. I would love working with somebody from North Dakota any day. I would pick somebody from North Dakota to be my friend because they were really salt of the earth people. And it comes from an agricultural background. We went to University of North Dakota, UND. They had a fantastic aeronautic program as far as a lot of pilots go to school there and all that. So it was really excellent, and the law school was fantastic. I very much enjoyed law school. I didn't mean to go to law school. I really wanted to go to medical school. I got lazy, and my wife always wanted to go to law school. So we both went to law school, and both of our kids were born in North Dakota.
Fabulous, yeah. Fabulous. Yeah. How far is that from Fargo, or is it?
University is about probably an hour north of Fargo. It's in Grand Forks, North Dakota.
Grand Forks, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, Grand Forks, amazing. Yeah, I've been to South Dakota, loved it. Saw the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
So really had a good time with that. And I tend to agree. I mean, I saw some of the same things you're talking about in a short amount of time. Mm-hmm. If I had spent more time, maybe. But I was very impressed as well. So academically we did some discussing there. What motivated you to go into real estate? How did that occur?
Unfortunately for me, like I said, I really never meant to go to law school, but it was my lazy way of not going to medical school because medical school was a lot tougher to get into. Essentially what happened was my wife was taking the LSAT exam, the law school admission test, and I took it with her, and I got a very high score in the high 90% and 90th percentile. And I thought, well, maybe God is telling me I should go to law school, and he wasn't. It was just my lazy brain was saying go to law school. So I went to law school, very, very much enjoyed law school. I learned a lot. It really hones your ability to think and kind of take apart a problem and think your way through it and all that. And also, with contracts and things like that, that's very helpful. And, I very much enjoyed it. It's just that I got out of law school, we came back to Colorado, and I passed the bar, and it was kind of like, well, shoot, this wasn't supposed to happen. But I have student loans coming up, so I better go start my practice. But I really never enjoyed practicing law. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't that I ran towards real estate. I was running away from practicing law after 20 years. And actually my mother decided that, hey, why don't you try real estate? And I was like, oh, real estate sounds really boring. Okay, maybe. So I studied for the test, and I passed the test, and I got my license, and I started. And I remember the day that I decided that I really loved real estate, and it was about a month after I got into it. I just fell in love with it in a matter of a month or so, because it's a very, very diverse field. It touches a lot of things. It touches transportation. It touches, the material. It touches the labor market because somebody has to build those houses. It touches the appliance manufacturing and things like that, because that goes into houses and all of that stuff. There's a lot of financial stuff in it. So you can never stop learning, because there's always something more to learn, which is...
Yeah. Describe if you can, a little bit about your business that you have now. And you said your daughter's working with you, Hannah. My daughter's name is Hannah. So
yes,
we have that in common. But yeah, talk a little bit. Of course, we can describe your business, but just talk about it a little bit and what it involves, etc.
Well, my daughter, being a millennial, she is very much into social media and things like that, and she actually went to film school herself. Since I know law and contracts and all of that, I can handle the actual contract parts of things, and we're both pretty good with people. Hopefully we're likable people. I know she definitely is, and she just handles a lot of the marketing, and she's a licensed real estate agent.
Fabulous.
But she handles a lot of the marketing that I really don't want to do. And I handle a lot of the business side of things, as far as, business structure and things like that. So it works really, really well. My son right now is working in Denver, and he's making way too much money for us to bring him over. But he's a fantastic salesperson, and that's what he does. And he makes, very good money at this point. The hope is that at some point that we can bring him over and make it a family business.
I see.
Essentially at that point.
Well, that's just wonderful. Is he also in real estate?
He's not. No,
He's not
is. He works for a company in Boulder.
Okay.
He does the sales for them.
Yeah, that famous town, Boulder.
Yes. Yes.
So, tell me about how business is right now and how you're doing. What do you like about it, etc.
The market is always good for somebody somewhere. The problem with a lot of real estate agents, I think, and I have no business saying this about other people. It's just that they get a license and they jump into this thing when the market is really, really hot. And it's got its ups and downs all the time. It's always cyclical. So when the market goes down a little bit, they have to jump ship, because they haven't established a business. I think the biggest problem with real estate is that you are a business. It doesn't matter if you're working for a brokerage or you're a broker yourself. Especially in Colorado, we're all brokers essentially. We don't have a salesperson license in Colorado. So you are a business. You're running your business. So if you fail, it's your fault. And people get into it thinking that, okay, I'm going to put up my license and get my license, put up my shingle, and I'm going to have people calling me. No, you go out there, you meet people, you network. It's going to take a while before you get a client base and all of that. So if you know how to run a business, which took me a very long time, and I'm still doing it, to understand what business is all about, what running a business is all about, and all of that, then it's fantastic. Because if it's they call it the seller's market, buyer's market. I don't buy into that as much, but let's go with that. If there's a seller's market, you can represent the sellers and listings and all of that. If it's a buyer's market, you can represent buyers, but you have to be able to switch back and forth and serve people. If you're just doing it to make money, you end up very, very tired and unsatisfied, I think. But if you have a service-minded business plan, at least, an approach to this thing, then it's absolutely fantastic.
We're coming closer to the end here, but I have basically a couple of 3 questions left.
Sure.
The area of condominium living, the area of housing living, in Colorado, we're basically, when it comes to buying and selling, it looks like that may be the two that are somewhat predominant, although I suppose people buy and sell apartments as well. Just let's talk a little bit about condominiums and houses.
Sure.
What are you seeing? What do you recommend to the viewers out there when it comes to that?
Well, right now excuse me. Right now the condo market is a little bit lower than the housing market. It really depends on the person, on the population. You know, areas like Fort Collins right now are always under pressure because even when the market is more of a, let's say, buyer's market, they're still under pressure. 40 years ago when I moved here, Timnath was the tiny little town.
I remember. Yeah.
And now it's a booming, beautiful town.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Very expensive houses and all of that. But that's the pressure from Fort Collins that essentially moved into Timnath and Windsor, somewhat Loveland, and Wellington now is growing. So Severance, there's a lot of places. So it's not as much a condo or a house versus a house thing. It depends on the people because condos are usually, or townhomes and things like that, are right now being bought by a lot of investors. Mostly because they come with a ongoing monthly income, HOA fee and all of that you have to pay, whereas houses may not come with that depending on where you are. A lot of bigger families would obviously like a bigger house rather than a smaller condos where the kids could go in the backyard, front yard, and play around and things like that. So it's more of a lifestyle thing that puts the pressure on one segment of the real estate, such as condos and townhomes, as opposed to single-family homes and all of that.
So if you are looking to invest, for example, what would be your recommendation, condominiums or houses?
Again, it depends on... That's one of the biggest things, because my thing with everybody who buys a house is, what is your exit strategy? Because usually they say, well, I want to live there until I die. Oh, okay, your exit strategy is death, but what happens to the house afterwards? I leave it to my kids. All right, so let's find something that your kids can dispose of or live there, after your demise, essentially.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what you want to do with it. If it's for investment, then what is your exit strategy for that investment, and what is your audience? Are you going for families? Are you going for students? Are you going for young couples with no kids? What is your target audience? Because it really depends on a lot of things like that. For example, Fort Collins, we have CSU, and the area around CSU is very, very hot at all times because of the student housing and all of that.
Right.
So those are all fantastic. Condos depends on the condo and the rules, because they have different rules. They have, some condos have to be such percentage needs to be owner occupied, and some percentage not, and all of those things.
Okay.
So it really depends on what your target audience is and what your exit strategy is once you own it.
So you advise people watching that if you're curious, they do their due diligence and research.
Due diligence is very, very important when it comes to real estate. Very, very important. Once in a while I run into, just because I used to be a lawyer, I get calls from a lot of my colleagues that, hey, this is what's going on and we didn't do this and do that. And it's usually a due diligence problem that has come up, 2-3 years later.
Yeah.
That, comes back and haunts you. So yes, very much.
So people, and of course we hear about this in the news all the time, more or less, about real estate market, etc. So people looking to buy a property of their own, what is your advice to them in terms of being prudent and making the right selection?
See, I don't know. It depends on the person. It's just that what I see very often is people get hung up on the wrong thing. A few years ago we had a 3% mortgages, and it was an artificial thing that was created by the government. It was not sustainable, and it finally went away, and now we're looking at, I think it's around 6.37 now, a 30-year mortgage. And people are still sitting around waiting for it to go down. To me personally, but then I'm obviously biased, but I am in the business. So to me personally, if you're waiting for a 3.5 or something like that, you're going to be waiting for a very long time, if ever. But what you need to do is gather up your paperwork, talk to a bunch of lenders, not just one lender, even though I actually really like my one lender that I use. But talk to a bunch of lenders and see what you can afford. And if you can afford a certain amount every month, that should be your focus. If you can afford a house in those circumstances, that should be your focus, because one of several things is going to happen. Either the interest rate is going to go up, it's going to stay the same, or it's going to go down. If it goes up, you're going to be very happy with whatever interest rate that you ended up with, because now it's going up and yours is better. If it goes down, then actually right now a lot of lenders offer a no fees refi the first time it goes down and you're trying to refi. And you can refi. The problem with an interest rate that it's down is then there's a whole bunch of buyers out there. You run into the same problem that you did back in 2021 when I remember there was a house that was $450,000, and my buyers wanted to buy it cash for $500,000. So we offered $50,000 over asking, and we didn't get it.
Right.
And I ran into a friend of mine who was also an agent, and I said, "Hey, I saw you over there. Did you guys put a bid on that?" She said, "Yeah, we put a $75,000 over asking bid on it, and we didn't get it." So somebody got it for more than $75,000 over asking. Well, you're paying a lot of money because there's a lot of commotion and competition, whereas when the interest rates are up, you can actually find a bargain.
Yeah.
For your money.
Yeah. If the viewers, anybody out there watching, they're interested in reaching out to you, do you have a preferred method for that, or your website or anything like that?
We have a website. We have, it's my email address is shaun@shamardian.com.
Okay, I'll put that on.
Yeah, nobody.
On the credits. Is that okay? I'll put that on the credits.
Yeah, it's more than okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of excellent real estate agents around.
Right. Right.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of not so excellent real estate agents, like any,
Yeah.
I mean, lawyers, doctors, everybody. I guess
Sure,
we have
sure.
good and bad.
Well, if they decide.
But yeah,
yeah.
I'd be more than happy to.
And then last but not least, the question I ask pretty much most of my guests anyway is if there's a 10th grader, 9th grader, first year community college person watching, and they're thinking about becoming a Shaun Shamardian one day, what's your advice to them in preparation, schooling, etc.?
Well, my very personal bias advice is don't become Shaun Shamardian the lawyer, become Shaun Shamardian the real estate agent.
Yeah.
Because I very much enjoy that. But if you want to get into real estate, do it early.
Do it early.
Look, I got a supposed doctorate degree. I have a Juris Doctorate degree, which it doesn't do anything for me. I mean, the knowledge is good for what I do, but I know very successful real estate agents who did it right out of high school.
Oh, wow.
With
Wow.
no degrees
Now
or
that I didn't
anything
know.
like that.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I don't even know
Yeah.
if you really need a high school diploma to get a real estate license or
Yeah.
not. But
That-
I mean,
that
you
I
have to
didn't
have a
know,
certain
yeah.
amount of
Yeah.
intelligence. But
So you mean you can get into it with a GED or something?
just yes,
Yeah.
get into it as if that's what's on your heart, get into it as early as possible. In fact, if you're a kid under the age of 25, 26, where you are under your parents' health insurance and things like that, do that. Because if you don't need to make a paycheck right away, you can find your way through this thing and actually become a real estate agent that serves people.
Yeah.
If you have a need to make a paycheck right away, then you're really serving yourself, and there's always a conflict of interest. Because as a lawyer, you get paid no matter what happens with your client, win,
Right.
lose, or draw. As a real estate agent, you only get paid once you close a transaction, and it's so easy to get into this mindset that closing the transaction is the most important thing. And sometimes that transaction is not good for your client. And you need to be able to tell your client, I don't think this is going to work out for you. I don't think this is good for you. And here are my reasons. Now you can decide. But, a lot of real estate agents that I have ran into in the past, they have these stories of, this transaction was just falling apart. This deal was falling apart. And I had to do this and this and this just to keep it together so we can take it to close. But my question is always, was it the right thing for your client or not? So if you don't have that need that I need to have a paycheck, then you actually can serve your client's best interest rather than, So to me, it's earlier better, and get into it. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. You need to always be learning.
Well, Mr. Shamardian, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
For your time. And
Thank you.
You have informed and educated in an area that I think is a rather substantial area. So thank you
I
very much.
certainly hope so.
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure.
Please like and subscribe.